Okay, now let's do something uh, interesting. Uh, what is called as passing the arguments by value or by reference. Okay, passing of arguments to a function by value or by reference. Okay, it will become clearer as we uh, go through this program. Okay. Now we are going to keep it simple. Okay, so hash include hash iostream dot h hash include ponyo dot h void. Okay, now let's say we have two variables, right? So int a comma b. Okay, and let's say we have a user defined function which will swap the values of these two variables. So swap int comma int. So basically it is going to take two integer values and exchange their values. Okay, now let's say clear screen. Okay, and let's accept the values. Enter the two numbers. Okay, great. Now scene A, B. Okay, so we have the two values. Now we will just display this before calling the functions. A is equal to A and B is equal to B. Okay, great. Okay, now let's call swap A comma B. Now the same thing, same statement, so we don't need to actually type it. So let's copy it. Okay, now get ch. Now let's have the function void swap int x comma int y. Okay, int temp, we are going to use a temp variable. So x is equal to y and y is equal to temp. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, let's say 5 and 9. Before calling the functions a equal to 5, b equal to 9, a equal to 5, b equal to 9. So here before calling the function, it is 5 and 9. We are calling swap function, so basically it swaps it. So ideally it should display 9 and 5, but here it is still displaying 5 and 9. So which means any changes in the values here in the swap function is not being reflected back in the main function, okay, or the calling function. Okay, so let's do it afterwards. Okay, now what we'll do is we will pass the uh, this is called pass by value, right? So here what happens is a and b, when we pass it here, a copy of it is sent to the function. So whatever happens with the copy, it doesn't affect the original values. Okay, now let's create one more swap uh, swap ref. Okay, just for our reference purpose. Okay, Okay, so remains the same thing. This remains the same thing. Um, so edit, copy, and paste. Okay, this remains the same. The difference would be, now instead of receiving the copy of the variables, it is going to receive the address of the variable. That means the reference to the variable. So it is receiving a reference, so address location. So whatever manipulation it does it on the mm, reference, on the at the memory location itself. So which means basically that the original values get changed. Okay, now we can't change this. This is an existing one. So let's create one more, swap ref. So int ampersand int ampersand. Okay, and uh, here let's call it again, and the way we will call it is we are going to pass the address of a swap swap ref. We are going to pass a and b. Okay, now let's run this and see what happens. 5 and 7, 4 and 7. So 4 and 7 is perfect. A and B, 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is it coming as okay, this has to be repeated here as well. Copy, paste. Okay, so here what we need to do is before calling the function by value, and this is by reference. Okay, now let's run it. Four and eight calling by value is correct. By reference 8 is coming correctly, but B is coming as 1296. So let's do one thing. I think some problem with the, so let's initialize it to 0 and let's run this. Let's say 2 and 8. Okay, 1296 B. Here what is happening? Address of x, address of y. Y is equal to, okay, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 9 and 0. That B is not, okay. So this should be temp is equal to x. Okay, we missed one step. So temp is equal to x. Now let's run this. 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, and 9 and 3. So it's only when we pass by reference will the original variables values will be changed, and not when we pass by value. It is like, you know, giving a friend a photocopy of a document in case of pass by value, and passing the original document itself, in which case he can make changes to that, and when he gives it back to you, you get the changed one. On a photocopy, whatever changes he makes, it doesn't matter to the original. Okay, so let's save this. let's store this, and let's say value and reference and quit.